Hello, this is Megan Caper,
And this is Elizabeth Malamed.
and we are the hosts of How to Be a Terrible Daughter, the podcast for anyone who's ever been called terrible, horrible, or useless by their parents or caregivers.
We are mental health professionals
And cousins.
who both grew up with narcissistic mothers and lived to tell the tale.
In this podcast, we're going to talk about growing up in toxic families, surviving narcissistic abuse, and moving forward after trauma. We want this podcast to be a place for you to find community and put words to your experience of your own toxic childhood.
But we're also going to make a lot of inappropriate jokes about our history because you have to laugh at the dark stuff.
You really do. Do you want to tell them what category you wanted to put this podcast under? So when you submit a podcast to like Apple or Spotify or whatever, you have to pick some categories like personal development or relationships. And you had an amazing idea.
Oh, true crime. Absolutely.
Yes, it was the crime scene of our childhoods. It's like a whodunit, except we tell you in the first episode, it was our moms.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert.
This is also a podcast for people that are wondering if their childhoods were really that bad and want to get more information about what psychological abuse looks like.
Yeah, if you're wondering, like, was my family really that bad? Was my childhood really that toxic? Or if you're thinking about cutting off contact with one or more of your family members, this podcast can give you some clarity around that for sure.
Come and join us. We're going to tell stories that are probably way too personal to be on the internet.
And give you a place where when you tell people that you no longer speak to your mom, absolutely no one will say, but how could you? She's your mother. She gave you everything. When in fact, what she gave you was crippling self-doubt and never-ending hypervigilance.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, she did. So come join us as we talk about how we learn to embrace being terrible daughters and take control over our own lives.
And make sure you find us and subscribe on Apple, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting platform so that you can get the first few episodes as soon as they drop.